not to change the subject, but where does this magnificent hemo do most of his work? In the veins or in the arteries?
He does no work at all in the veins or the arteries.
Well, where does he do it?
Now, that's a good question. But before I can go into that, I'll have to tell you something about blood itself.
Just a moment, brother scientist. So far, your chatter on plumbing has been elementary, but harmless. But now that you've come to me, I refuse to listen further unless you first describe me in just 2 words.
I can.
Never mind. Professor, mention the 2 key words, and I'll know you understand the poetry, the mystery, and the true meaning of blood. Otherwise, back to your plumbing.
Hey, Doc, he's trapping us. Do you know what the 2 words are? Oh, you do?
The 2 words that best describe you and connect you with the mystical origins and traditions of life are seawater.
Seawater?
What a square.
Quiet! Brother Research, my apologies.
You mean he's right?
Listen to this learned man, and you'll hear a real tale.
Seawater?
Doctor, please tell them who I am.
Well, thank you. It's only a theory, of course.
This I gotta see.
But if you squeezed a human body as you would a sponge, you'd squeeze out some 30% of the body weight as about 6 gallons of free water, which we shall call body fluid. This squeezed out body fluid has a salt content of 1%. Tropical sea animals might exist in this aquarium of body liquid. Now, the salts in seawater are like the salts in body fluid, as you can see. Although seawater today is 2 or 3 times saltier than body fluid. Some biologists account for this difference by saying that body fluids today represent the less salty composition of seawater as it was nearly 400 million years ago, when life emerged from the sea and began to crawl on land. At any rate, 1.5 billion or 2 billion years ago, life is presumed to have originated in the warmth of tropical waters as a minute, single-celled aquatic organism, something akin to the tiny living single cell we know today as the amoeba. This shapeless, jelly-like primeval cell absorbed its food and oxygen directly from the sea and passed out its carbon dioxide and other wastes to the warm ocean. In the beginning, hemo was the sea. Some in telling others what to do became the brain, others in building and became bones. Those interested in feeding became stomachs, while still others organized themselves into a pump and a closed circulating system to bring the precious fluid to the cells that were too deeply embedded in the body to have direct contact with the sea. New organisms could now be more than 2 cells thick, and they grew fast. About 400 million years ago, the first fish took form, thousands of cells thick, composed of billions of cells that have to be bathed, fed, serviced, or as the great French physiologist Claude Bernard put it, kept in a constant internal environment in the same way their ancient predecessor, the tiny 1-celled amoeba, was bathed in seawater. Only now, land animals have to manufacture their own kind of seawater in the form of blood and other body fluids. Now, internally, we're all basking in the warm waters of the South Sea Isles, thanks to Hemo the Magnificent, whom the poet Goethe described as that entirely wonderful sap.
Please.
So you see, Mr. Hemo, bit by bit, we've come to know that your job is to place seawater to our body cells.